Hi everyone, welcome back to Chris Grows Up. This is the second of 3 episodes based on the topic of growing deeper with people on the edges of your life, basically, and trying to cut out the small talk, trying to connect deeper with these people. And I've had a week's now worth of trying this, and it's been really good, really interesting, really challenging, but actually really good as well. I mean, I've learned a lot, actually. I've learned a lot. And one of the things that I found really early on was obviously that communication's a two-way street. It's got to happen both ways, and you can't force conversation on people. Who'd have thought, Chris? You can't force conversation on people, and nor have I tried. But in terms of what I mean by two-way street, when last episode I was talking about, I was anticipating things that I might come across and strategies that I might employ to try and grow closer to people on the outskirts of my life, on the fringes. And one thing I talked about was the idea that we kind of run in autopilot a lot when we're out doing things. This idea that we have a really busy life. People, especially in the Western world, we're very busy doing things. And when you run on this busy life, on this schedule, on this timeline, you kind of can get stuck in a routine. And your conversational life, your connecting with people, your social life, that can quite often that comes at the expense of a routine sometimes. And we find that we go into these places to have these services like getting a car filled up with petrol, or going to the shopping center, or dropping the kids off at daycare, or getting a coffee, or whatever it is. And because we're on a routine, because we're on a schedule, we have these blank faces, and we go in and we receive the service, and we go out and we forget that we're talking to human beings and that life is supposed to be lived in community. And so what I've found this week is that it doesn't take much to break that routine. And when that routine's broken, so much life comes. It's just ridiculous how much you can live, how much better you can live, how much wholesomer, whatever it is, life can be when you break that. And I mean, I've seriously I've got so many stories of things that I'd love to share, but I'm gonna have to keep it really short. But another strategy that I discovered really quickly was that I had to document these conversations, these relationships that were developing. So I started just with a notebook and writing down those things when I'd had those conversations, just so I could remember them. So if you're journeying along with me and you're tackling these topics at the same time, I'd highly recommend getting a notepad and a notebook and writing down your thoughts, writing down the conversations that you do have and the outcomes that you get, because it's really useful. But just a short story before I kind of close off this video and what I'm anticipating in the next week to come before I summarize in total. I was out, when was it? Just the other day, actually, and I went to the supermarket. And during this week, slowly I've discovered that I have to be more aware of my surroundings when I'm wanting to connect with people, because when you do run in that autopilot mode, your focus is just on what you need to do. And so, as I said, the first thing that comes as an expense is your awareness and your ability to connect to people. And so I'm trying to be more aware of things, and I'm constantly thinking, okay, who can I connect with? What am I going to say? All those kind of things. And I was just at our local supermarket, and I was doing the shopping, and I immediately thought, oh, I can connect with the checkout chick, the girl that's on the register. I was like, okay, I can do that. Why not? Give it a crack. Why not? I'll just see what happens. And so there was a line, and I was trying not to be a creep and look at her while I was in the line, but I was also trying to see if there's anything that I could, any conversation that I can make just by checking my surroundings, whatever. I sound like an absolute creep saying this. Anyway, this is an experiment, so it could be a bit weird. But anyway, I get to my turn in the register, and she starts putting my things through, and she says the throwaway line, "Hi, how are you?" And I say in response my throwaway line, which is, "I'm good, thank you. How are you?" And she says, "Good." And then I thought, okay, here's a chance to break the routine, okay? And I said, well, and this kind of just came to me as I was doing it. It's by no means amazing inspiration. It wasn't pre-planned. I said, "Are you really good?" Like, are you just saying that? Like, a bit cheeky. Like, are you just saying that? And at that moment, like, it was amazing. You could physically see the break in the routine because her face lit up and she kind of said, "Oh yeah, I'm actually really good." And I was like, "Oh, good." And before I could even say why and kind of the next step in the conversation, she said, "Actually, my sister is in labor, and I'm going to be an auntie for the first time really soon. So I'm hoping that I'm not working when that happens." And I was like, "Oh, cool, okay." So then I just started asking, natural questions that you'd follow on with, how old's your sister? Do they know what they're having, a boy or a girl? You must be really excited. All these different things. And we had this, like, it was a small conversation, but I walked away just, I don't know, feeling like I'd connected. I felt happier. I felt like I'd invested a little bit in someone's life and I'd learned something, and hopefully I'd brightened her day and it brightened my day, and it didn't cost me anything. Like, what would have I been doing if I hadn't have asked her those questions? Probably just sitting there watching her put my shopping through the register, or playing on my phone, or checking my email, or whatever. Stuff that I don't need to do. Stuff that's just wasting my time. Where this actually was good. This actually was, I don't know, it felt good. It invested. So I was excited by that win, and I've got lots of other stories that I want to share, but I'm looking forward to a second week of it, actually. And I want to go a bit deeper and become more intentional about it too. So it'd be interesting to see how we go in this week coming up. And hopefully you've got some stories that, that you can share on the YouTube page or whatever. And hopefully you're having a good week connecting with people as well. And so I will see you next week. Make sure you have a good week, and don't forget to grow up.